Hello and welcome to the All Round Coaching podcast, episode number 55. I've got my little co-host back with me, and this podcast's come off of the back of a walk that we've just had. So while it's fresh in our brain, we thought this could actually be a podcast that's a little bit more helpful to people that do have them physique goals, but thinking that obviously can lose body fat from certain areas. So obviously we will go into this. Hello, Mel.
Hello. I don't know why I sounded so funny then. Just a caveat, if I am sniffly or coffee on this, then I'm not very well, so I'm apologising from the get-go.
If she does cough, I'll punch her.
That's how this relationship works. Fear. No, we were literally just on a walk and we were discussing just a few different types and just a few different ways that people train. And more specifically, when I was training on my own before you, I would look more I would focus more on my glutes and my thighs, thinking that's how I'd have to focus it. But we were literally just saying that because I've come to you, like my delts are a little bit more kind of defined now. Like we've focused on the upper aspect, and because of that, personally, I feel like I'm a lot more not rounded, but I'm a lot more sculpted and I look more like how I've always wanted to because of that. So we were just saying that it's interesting how certain people feel like they have to train certain parts of the body. But in actual fact, you're probably better off training overall, aren't you?
Yeah, and I mean, from a posture as well, like a lot of women do just train legs. They'll go in, whack out some hip thrust, leg press, and they don't do upper. And I know when I've had consultations in the past, like a lot of the women say, oh, my upper's really weak. Well, it is going to be weak because one, you've never trained it, and two, you've never really been shown how to train it and why you're training it. So if we think of a body composition point, which is obviously when you train your physique, lowering body fat, you've got a little bit more muscle, a little bit more shape. If you're wanting to reduce, say, the wobbly bits, i.e. the bingo wings, which is what you came to me for, or you've got like your back's a little bit loose, if you actually have muscle mass underneath, that's what's going to change your shape. It's not smashing out legs, smashing out cardio, and then obviously giving yourself a lot of imbalances. Because I know a lot of women, for me, they'll come to me and they'll say, oh, I don't want to train chest, I don't want to end up with pecs, but they're neglecting the facts. If they don't train chest, then it does decline with the posture. So obviously it does actually help with your posture. It's the same when you train back. So a lot of people that have come rounded to me, I'll focus a little bit more on the upper back, a few face pulls in there, and actually correct the posture through the training. So yes, it's not just lose body fat and get shredded. It does help longevity, your posture, and it's more than obviously women just going in smashing legs and guys just going in smashing upper.
Yeah, I think one of the things that, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, and I don't think you know what I'm going to say, but when we first got together, I think one of the things I commented on. So I always say that I sacrificed my boobs, like to the fitness gods, like for obviously like a bit more of a leaner stomach. So I'm less on up top, but I think you've got a little bit more there. And I was always really jealous, but I think obviously the more that we kind of like, obviously when we became partners, like we spoke about it, and I think you've got more of a fuller chest because you've always trained chest.
Yeah, I've trained since I was 12, 13, but I've always trained chest, and the fact that my chest doesn't move, I haven't got massive boobs, but I have got quite a nice shape. My clavicle's nice, like my shoulders are nice, and nothing's drooping, despite obviously getting to 34.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that you wouldn't start drooping just yet, but yeah, I think we obviously spoke about it at length, and I think it makes sense when you think about it, because if you've got something underneath that boob tissue, tell me if I'm wrong because my anatomy's shite, but if you've got something underneath there, surely it's got more structure to hold things up. And
yeah, because you've got your muscle. Everyone thinks you'll end up with pecs, and obviously you do not unless you're injecting something, but I've got muscle under there. I've got breast tissue, and there will be some fatty tissue as well. If you're in a deficit and you're dropping body fat, then you're probably going to lose a little bit of boob. Yeah. If you've got a little bit of muscle underneath, then you're going to have a little bit more to show for it. And it's not, I don't know, it probably does annoy me when women say, I don't need to train chest. Like, you kind of do for a posture point, but it does actually help give you a nicer shape when you've got a dress or a top on. And obviously it does help with your shoulders a little bit as well, your front delts.
Yeah, like you said, that clavicle, like on the front, I always found that really sexy. Like, you look at like the celebrities, I'd not noticed it until I started watching Friends when we got together. Like, you look at Jennifer Aniston and Courtney Cox, like, even they've got, like, although they're not the biggest frame, like, they've even got, like, delts themselves, and you can see that the clavicle's, like, defined, and you can tell that they've got like they've been sculpted in a certain way to look that way. That doesn't mean that they've just been fucking hammering like legs all the time in the gym. Like they've been working on the whole body.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think I could recover from training legs all the time, but I think a thing that stands out for me, like you see these girls that are smashing out like 100 odd kilo on squats, but then hand them some dumbbells and get them to do a press, and they struggle to do like 5 and 10. And it's not to say obviously anyone's weak if they can't do that, but I think it is a little bit more attention from women to actually build the upper and get a little bit stronger. Because if you think about when you get to a little old biddy and you fall over, are you going to be able to push yourself up? Probably not, because you've never fucking pushed anything up.
With your legs.
Well, no, if you fall over and, like, say your face, what pushes you up first?
Well, yeah, no, but
your arms. You can't just fucking do a backflip as an old lady and jump up.
That is my goal in life. No, but it's just, I think it's always been that perception, isn't it, that you don't want to look hench as fuck, do you? And it's that there seems to be a booty brigade at the moment, and I think Instagram is. I'm going to sound like a right old fogey here, but Instagram is the reason for that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I did a post on it. Twist up your back, pop your booty out, because you've done arms, but obviously you have to get your ass in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you've already got it, I've never saw the need to flaunt it, because obviously you have probably got one of the biggest asses that I've ever seen, which is more defined now. But you don't do that. It's not for me, and I don't know, I don't think I'm on board with Instagram and TikToks and all that stuff now.
It's just a bit thirsty.
Yeah. Bit of controversy there. But I mean, be proud of what you've got, but I don't see the need for twisting up your back.
I mean, it just doesn't. If you're going to train that stuff, great. Like, it's mega that people are training, and especially women, because obviously there's always been a bit of a stigma with women training and lifting weights. Like, I'm here for people, like, being in the gym and, feeling sexy. I'm not the first person to slate people like that, but just balance it. Like, show me that you're working your glutes and your legs, but also show me that you're working your upper as well. Like,
yeah, focus on an overall, because when you are older, like, your posture's going to be fucked if you've just hammered your legs into the ground and you've absolutely no upper. Because what keeps you upright is your core, protects your back. Having obviously a stronger back's going to help with your posture. Training your chest's going to help with your posture.
Plus, from an aesthetics perspective, you're just going to look like a right big pear walking around. Like,
well, yeah, obviously before you actually started training upper, you were more of a pear shape, and I'd say you're more hourglass now. Like, your shoulders are coming out, your waist's absolutely tiny, and you still got quite big glutes and thighs, which I don't think you'll ever lose, thankfully.
No, I've always been bottom heavy, but I think because you've got me training more of my upper and my back and my chest, like, I'm more hourglass shaped because of that. Like, the balance is there. So I actually the controversial opinion is that I actually feel like I've got more of a womanly shape now for training and lifting weights than what I did before, because I never lifted any. Well, I did a few like sessions with upper, but nothing that ever had an effect like this has.
Yeah, and I think it's still a lot of women are scared to lift weights because they think they're going to get big. If you're actually smashing a shitload of calories, then you're probably going to get fat, which is going to make you look bigger. But weights alone doesn't make you look bigger, and building muscle won't make you look bigger, because it's actually really fucking hard to do. And I've said this on a few podcasts, like, you're not going to get big easy, or as easy as what you think. And I've had it in the past where people said they don't want to look like me, and you fucking won't, because it took 20 odd years. Obviously, granted, I am a smaller stature, and I feel like I look better when I'm leaner, but it isn't easy building muscle, but it is needed for a lot of people, because they'll go in, they'll just smash cardio, a little bit of legs, and then they leave. But if you're thinking down the line, like actual longevity, health, and if you fall or anything, it's the muscle that protects you, your ligaments, and it's not being as skinny or having as little fat as possible. It's actually the muscle that's going to help you overall be healthy.
Well, let's be honest, the majority of people that at least come to you or inquire with you, they've got an aesthetics problem, haven't they? They've got, I'm not happy with how I look. So I think we were speaking about it on our walk. Like, I imagine that a lot of people come to you and say, I want a flat stomach.
Yeah.
Like, but based on that, like, you can't just target that area, can you?
No, you can't spot reduce fat. And I always say to people, like, when they come to me, I'm not going to sell you the dream. Like, you might want to lose fat off your stomach, which you will eventually, but genetics will play a role in that, and obviously your nutrition plays a bigger role. So I'm not going to say, yeah, I'll get you a flatter stomach in 6 weeks. You might lose it off your legs first, you might lose it off your back first. Like, we don't know where it's going to come off, but obviously it is playing that long game as well.
Why does it do that? Like, is this a bigger science question? Like, why do certain people lose weight in certain areas first?
It'll just
Or
be genetics. Like, I never put any fat on my legs. I can't tell you why. Like, I'm just built that way. But I played a lot of football when I was younger. But you can see if I've put on a few pounds around my stomach because I am a little bit littler than everyone else. I've got a shorter body. So we can't say why it's going to go on there and when it's going to come off. Like, with me, it's the first to go on my stomach and probably the last towards the end to go off. But my upper leans out a little bit on my back more, but it still doesn't go off my stomach.
mine just got straight to my face. My face, my ass.
I mean, I wish my hand had got to my ass. I wouldn't be complaining with that.
I don't know, like a proper little jelly bomb. But I think it also goes like detriment in terms of, or it's detrimental to having like a bit more of a bespoke training plan, isn't it? Because everybody's body is different.
Yeah, and I'll always do it overall. Like, I won't just hammer. If someone needs to bring a certain area up in the physique so I can balance them out and make them feel better and look better, then I will do that. But if someone comes to me and say, I just want to build massive glutes, I'm not just going to do them a leg plan and a glutes plan.
No, no.
It's going to be overall because I'm more worried about your posture and how you move and a little bit of your mobility rather than just getting someone a big booty.
How do you find with like the guys? Because I know you do have quite a lot of male kind of clients as well. Like, do they initially come to you with, I want to get bigger arms or I want a bigger chest? Like, does it work the reversed way with guys as opposed to girls?
Yeah, I've had guys come where they'll say obviously they want to build muscle, and I don't think people appreciate how hard it is actually to build muscle, whether you're a bloke or a female. With men, like I'd say probably 80% of the men that I've had, bar one, they've had to prime the physique first. So obviously we've had to lower the body fat a little bit, and it has to be done in stages, build them back up because we need to see what we're working with underneath. Obviously, an example would be Kirk. He'd trained for quite a while, probably not as much structure and form and technique, but once he came to me, obviously we built on that, and then getting the body fat down, he actually had a decent amount of muscle underneath. Opposite to that, I've got Nathan that I've had to restructure everything, teach him how to train and actually train for body composition, which is what he wanted, and build muscle, which has took 22 months. And if you look at him, he isn't quote unquote too big because it takes fucking ages to actually get bigger.
Wow, that was a blank moment for both of us there. That's the longest silence we've ever had. No, it's just interesting because, like, naturally, I would expect males to come to you going, "I want to be top heavy. I feel like I'm not strong, or I don't look as strong up top." Whereas I imagine a lot of females going to go, "I want the legs, bums, and tums to be shredded."
Yeah, and you know, like it's probably rare that I'll put people on legs push pull or like an actual split unless one, I know they're never going to miss a session and they're dedicated to it, and two, that they can actually recover from it. So I think there's only a couple of guys that I have that are on an actual split where it's not full body, and obviously the technique's a lot better with them kind of people because they're a little bit more advanced as well. So my general pop clients, like I would put lean more towards full body, so they actually aren't just training legs. Because if they miss a session, it's with women, it's more like to be an upper one, and then with guys, sometimes it's more like to be the lower one, which is legs. So like each client will always be different, and I'll never promise to a client that they're going to end up with a big ass or I'm going to be able to strip the belly fat off them straight away. Like, each person's individual, and if you've not done it before, then obviously it's a learning curve for both of us as well.
Have you got like a preferred like body composition style that you like getting for people, or because everybody's different, everybody looks different in different lights and different ways, but I know when I was training with you, you definitely like a back girl, aren't you? Like,
Back and shoulders, because one, a lot of people neglect it, and two, it actually is really hard to build decent back and shoulders. I could do the angles and all smoke and mirrors to get a good booty shot of everyone, but I am more for something that takes a little bit longer graft. And the muscles that obviously you guys don't see unless you're looking at a video of yourself, which is what I do with some people. So I would say I do love, like, obviously nice quads and stuff, but I do love some back and delts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a nice way to wrap things up.
Yeah. So if you are listening to this, hopefully there is one person, but I'd like to say to the females, don't start and skip upper in fear that you're going to get big. You absolutely will not, unless you're assisted with some steroids. And to the fellas that skip leg day, make sure you still include it as well. Overall balance on a physique. If you did find this helpful, you can drop a like and you can share it to someone that might need to hear it that are skipping some sessions. If anyone does need any help, obviously I've got app access and online coaching, and you can always reach out and ask me some questions as well.
Yeah. Until next time.
See you later.